Hey, Shalom, Sister Kate here. I'm out by the goat pen. Oh, there's some pretty dogwoods in the background. I should probably keep the camera like this. I read an article today and I saw a video on the border crisis in Texas. And the governor, what's his name, Greg Abbott, was giving some details, some statistics for the last month from March 4th till, basically now. How many people have crossed the border and how many arrests, and he called them referrals, that his safety council people, I'm not sure, I think he's using a euphemism for his police. Um, and it kind of horrified me, the numbers of people pouring across that border and how many captures they were doing daily. 571 referrals a day to the Border Patrol. And I think he said arrests, as far as criminal arrests, meaning people who commit crimes or have warrants for having committed crimes, was like 27 or 28 a day. And he gave an example of some of the crimes and criminals that had been captured: a pedophile who was found guilty of continuously sexually assaulting a minor under 13 years old, and rapists and burglars and so on. And then he told a few stories. They're called anecdotes when the story is told, and it's just one story out of, the 571 in a day, about coyotes, the smugglers, who threw a 6-month-old baby in the river and broke the leg of the mother. And they do that because they know it takes a lot of Border Patrol agents to rescue the child and to help the mother. And they do it to tie up manpower. So I just want you to think about this for a minute. This is a Biden administration policy to just open that border. Which, on one hand is supposed to be humanitarian aid, but on the other hand has caused a crisis on both sides of the border with all these immigrants, migrants. This one article called them rushing to the border and then trying to cross it. You get too many people in a small space. You get people being abused horribly. You get people, walking for miles with nothing and getting starved and beaten and preyed upon. This is a real problem, and our press, our news is not really covering it. The news right now is covering the UK variant of the COVID that's now in the country and is spreading everywhere, and they're just ignoring the fact that these people are coming across. So that's just in a month, okay? If you multiply, that's almost 600 people a day times 30 days. What is that, 1,800 people in the month? Let me think about that. 600 times 30, you're going to get 18 and 3 zeros. 18,000 people a day. 18,000 people a day just being captured. That's not all the ones who are making it past the Border Patrol people and entering the country. Well, if we look in retrospect, this article I was reading, it was on a little town called La Teneca, I think in Guatemala, that had 1,000 migrants a day going through there a year ago. And the point of the article was, the hardships they're suffering without all these people who came through this little town, because they were charging these migrants, $10 a night to stay in a hotel, and they were eating at the restaurant and so on. That's not the point of this crisis. It's not that some little town in Guatemala now doesn't have the income. It's how many people are flooding into the U.S. And Trump had two policies that completely cut down on the amount of people coming across the border. And one of them was how they had to stay in Mexico while their asylum requests were being looked at. They could not stay in the United States. And that cut down on a lot of the trafficking. And then he also told Mexico, we are going to charge you for detaining people, and make you pay for all this immigration, this illegal immigration that you're allowing to flood through your country. And so this article said, the amount of people going through that little town was cut by 70%. Good good. People should not just flee to the States. Now, I do understand why they come. When you're in a third world country, America's quality of life, medical care, education is very um, idyllic. It's a great way to live. We have a better standard of living, et cetera, et cetera. And there, I feel for those people. But the answer to the immigration problem is not that every single person on the planet whose government is bad or is having a less standard of living should all come to America. That is not the answer. It's impractical for many, and it's just not a long-term solution. The long-term solution is for the people of the country, each country, to try to improve the system in their own country, to apply for jobs, become government workers, start, nonprofit organizations for assistance, and also our government to work with their government to try to bring their government up to speed. Because what makes America great is our government, our Constitution, and as I'm reading through Alexander Hamilton, the economic system he created allows for um, economic boom, I guess you'd call it. It allows for a higher standard of living because there is an economy, and an economy means jobs, and people get money and they can spend the money and so on. So it's not a simple solution, but the long term solution is for each country to have a better government. And when the communists come in and tell everyone, oh, yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to give you $50 and then we're going to improve the country. And they do things like open the border, make gas shortages, just pay people not to work. Unproductive people cause the economy to slow down, not speed up. I mean, it sounds good that you can sit on your rear end to get paid by your government, but your standard of living and your capacity to make a better life for you is just, it's undermined, and it's deceptive. So as my husband has said, what we're really seeing in America is a communist takeover. The fact that Biden opened our borders is that, along with a lot of other things like the rioting last summer and so on. But Texas is definitely in crisis mode, and they are appealing to other governors and other states to help with this border crisis as people pour across. And it's something that's taken a lot of taxpayer money. Now, this article that I read said 1 million people came across the border in 2019, and that was under Trump policies. So that was 70% reduced from what would have been coming across. And then Biden has opened it wide up, so it's going to shoot up. And that $66 million of taxpayer money was spent on this issue last year. It's going to be so much more when people are just everywhere. It's not a good thing. So what can you do? Write letters to your congressmen, your senators. You can send emails. You can show your support online and social media, where there's so much propaganda and mistruth there. You can get on there and be a voice for truth and reason. All right, y'all, I got to get going. Thank you so much for watching. Truly, hang on. 2021 is going to be some kind of year too. Bless you. Shalom. Woo!